Welcome to the Network Build Grow podcast, the show where business owners, entrepreneurs, and professionals share their stories, lessons learned, and powerful strategies for building relationships and growing their circle of influence. With Melissa Taylor, your host, each week we'll bring you actionable insights to help you build a better network and a better business. Let's dive in.
Well, good morning. Good morning, and welcome to the Network Build Grow podcast. Mr. Ken Myers is in the house.
Hey, Melissa. Thanks for having me.
Hey, yeah. So I am excited to talk to you. You've been a part of Network Build Grow for years. You actually even sponsor some of our events, which is wonderful. But before we kind of, dive into networking best practices, tell everybody a little bit about what you do as far as like people solutions and why that's important to you.
Well, it certainly wasn't by design. Early in my career, I was in the electronics industry, moving around the globe quite a bit, traveling from place to place. And as my son says, my 18-year-old son, he tells me that I was chasing the bag, right? So I was really never connected to the local community. And that kind of all changed in 2006 when I bought my first company. And fast forward a few years, I was recruited into this space of HR solutions and business solutions for small business. And 10 years later, I'm still in it. So it's my passion. I love what I do.
Why do you love it so much? Is it the people that you get to connect with? Like what is it about it?
I think because I tend to like to kind of challenge the status quo. I like getting in front of a business owner or leader and just talking to them about their company and seeing what works and knowing that my company didn't make it out of the recession. I folded it in 2009. So I kind of carry that around with me when I'm talking to business owners and just trying to figure out, hey, there's other ways that you can do what you're doing. How can we help you be more successful?
Yeah. And I know just from talking to you, I've actually come in and talked to your team. You are a people first. Like a lot of companies say that, but you truly are people first, not only your own team, but then also when you go into businesses talking about the people, not just all the policies and all the things. So
yeah.
When do you think you became such a people person?
I think I'll go back to my first phrase. It really wasn't by design, frankly. No, in all seriousness, I think one of the things I guess I never truly realized that the way that you can be successful is to kind of bring people along with you, because you're not going to have all the answers. You're not going to know everything there is to know. So for me, partnering is the best thing in the world. Early in my career, I was always head down at my desk working, trying to do my thing. And once you pick your head up and you look around, there's some bright people that can help you along the way. One of them just happens to be the host of this podcast. So I appreciate it.
It is true, though. There are people in our path. And lots of times we don't necessarily see them in our path until it's too late. Yeah, I was listening to a speaker the other day, and she said, opportunity knocks, and go through every door because you don't know what's on the other side.
There's what did Yogi Berra say? When you come to a fork in the road, take it.
Yeah, take it. You just don't know. Okay, so aside from that, give us a tactical kind of real life view of what you actually do when you go into a business.
Well, first thing, we have to uncover what status quo looks like, right? What is potentially getting in the way of a business owner achieving their goals? A lot of times it's around some sort of people strategy, people process, something in their business. They either can't attract enough talent, can't retain the talent. They've got, costs that are going through the roof. So that's part of it. But we also want to hear their story. Why do you do what you do? Why do you honestly care about your people? Because for some business owners, it's a means to an end. But for other business owners, it's their life work. They want to continue to give back to their people and their employees. And selfishly, those are the folks that we want to spend our time with.
That's wonderful. All right, so let's shift gears a little bit. We're still talking about people, but now let's talk about people from the standpoint of networking. How big is networking a part of your business and your growth?
Wow, that's a really good question. Easiest way to say it, it's a significant percentage. When I moved my family, I had 2 small kids at the time. My wife, Kathleen, and I moved the kids from Tampa to Charlotte, and I knew 5 people, and they were all family members. So for me, it's always been about trying to circle myself, right, with the best people, pushing me forward, allowing me to give back to them. So I don't know if you can say 100%, but it's a significant part of what I do.
Yeah, that's wonderful. And I know that you recently started a thing that you called your speaker series, and you bring in speakers primarily for the sole focus of being able to put some people in a room to hear the speaker, people that you care about in the room.
That's true.
So that they can hear the speaker. What prompted you to want to do that?
Yeah, I guess go back to, my time with a previous company. I had done a few things to bring people together, but it just seemed kind of awkward, right? Because there's, as you say all the time, there's a lot of networking opportunities. There's a lot of these type of opportunities throughout Charlotte. And for me, it was, how can I put really good people in the room, handpicked, really hand selected, or guests of people that I want to be in the room, to hear a business owner or leader talk about something that will have, I believe anyway, and the feedback's been positive, that will have ultimately a positive impact on their business. Nothing existed. I mean, Network Build Grow for me is the closest thing because of your signature series and some of the other stuff that we do. But this was just a way to continue to give back, build community, interact with some great people, and bring great speakers on.
Well, I am honored to be one of the people that you handpicked to be in the room all the time. I love going. You have great speakers that come. It's wonderful. It's a wonderful place. It's a great way to network, but it's different, right? You're giving some value back and creating that, like you said, that community. And I've met some wonderful people at your events. So thank you for having me there. All right. So let's just kind of let's get into, you had a business before, and then you closed that, and then you started working for I know you've worked for a couple of different companies, but kind of the same industry, so to speak. Do you think that your network of people that you have connected to are what have opened up those opportunities for you as you've gone along?
Yeah, some of it definitely, especially as by nature, I'm a humble person, but it's also very difficult for me to ask for help or to sit down with somebody and say, hey, by the way, help me peel back the onion on what I'm doing and what can I do better, right? Once I got over that and just, kind of got out of my own way, it's helped significantly.
Okay, let's dive on that a little bit. How do you get out of your own way? How do you peel back that onion a little bit?
I remember I was such a good question. So I was 12 years old. I was playing baseball. I was pretty good, right? I was self-proclaimed the best player on the team, and we hadn't won a game. So we get in the car, and I'm basically telling my father that I am the best person on the team, right? And he says, son, I can tell you, if you're good, people will notice. That hung with me through my career, multiple stages where I just kept my head down, just kept plowing forward, and didn't ever ask for help around. I've got some funny stories about like a big tree that my dad told me I had to take care of by myself. And when I asked for help, he didn't pay me for the job. So it took a while for that for me to get out of my own way and ask for help and to talk to people. one of your best talks is your personal board of directors. And I embrace that 100%.
Thank you. Thank you. I love that talk. I just gave it again at the chamber last week. And
Yeah.
a lot of people don't realize that they have a board of directors, a personal board of directors, whether it was intentional or by default. But
Right.
they definitely do. And one of my favorite seats on that board of directors is the wingman. You know, that person that can connect you to other people and opportunities and resources. You've got to have that person in your life. Who would you say have been some of those key wingmen in your, those key connectors in your life?
Wow. You play a couple of different roles on my board, so
Oh Lord, okay.
you've got a little bit of truth teller in there because I do ask for your guidance quite a bit. You have helped me in more ways than you know. I think one of the other people that has done just been fantastic for me has been Chuck Cooper, owner and founder of Whitewater Consulting, good personal friend of mine, but somebody that has helped me kind of navigate the world of HR, made some invaluable relationships and connections there.
Yeah, he is a wonderful human. Yes,
Yeah,
you have
one of
surrounded
the
yourself
best
with a
for
lot of
sure.
wonderful, wonderful humans. Every time I go to your signature series, I'm like, this is a good group of wonderful humans in the room. And that's all because you brought them
Yeah.
there.
You know, I spent a fair amount of time chasing the wrong things, and some of that was relationships. And again, it wasn't until I got out of my own way and really looked around at some of the people. I'm like, I want to spend more time with you, with you, with you. Not so much there, but that was really the start of the speaker series. And you know, that the speaker series really in my mind started pre-COVID. It just took a while to get it off the ground.
It took a while to get it off the ground. All right, let's kind of dive into networking. So networking, if you had to define it, how would you define networking for business? I'm full of stumpers this morning.
I just don't like the word. I mean, I know
Okay.
what it means. For me, it's really about relationship development. It's about building relationships and giving, right? Giving first. That is core to one of my beliefs. But I read somewhere not so long ago that when you're around somebody that you are attracted to mentally, right, and they really do the right things for you, there's a vibration and you can feel it. That for me is the best part of networking, I guess, relationship development. I want to find those great people that make me better. That's why I do it.
Yeah, that's why you do it. It's interesting that you say you don't like the word networking. I think it's gotten a bad rap.
100%.
Yeah, I think it's gotten a bad rap. And what are some of the reasons why you think it kind of has a little bit of that negative connotation?
The best one that I can give you is you walk up, shake somebody's hand or say hi, and they hand you a business card.
Yeah, they're
Can't do it.
prospecting. They're prospecting, not
Can't do it.
networking. Yeah,
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 that's, networking is so much more about how do you get somebody to engage and to open up and to start talking a little bit. I mean, obviously, if you're in a room and you're trying to make some relationships or start some relationships, you can't spend 30 minutes with one person. You kind of want to move around a little bit, but you can get enough in those early moments to love to catch up for coffee. You know, I'll reach out on LinkedIn. Let's figure out what those next steps are. That's how I do it anyway.
yeah. So when you go to an actual event, so let's say it's a networking event or it's a speaker series or it's a social event or something, right? Just let's just take the word networking out of it. But you go to a place where people are gathered, business people are gathered. What is kind of your goal, your end goal for the time that you're spending there?
2 to 3 meaningful introductions.
Yeah.
I'm to the point where I don't want to try to meet necessarily 15 people. If it happens and there's like a small circle within the event and there's a lot of meaningful conversations that go on. But I think one of the things that I like to do is I like to find somebody that's just awkward. They don't like being in that room and they're by themselves. First thing I'm going to do is go over and walk over to them and say, hey, tell me something you're working on these days, and introduce myself. Try to, because not everybody likes to do what we do, right?
Right. Not everybody's just open and just able to talk to anybody. I do the same thing. I try to find that person that's hiding behind their phone, right? They walk in, they sit down, they don't talk to anybody. And I'm like, hey, let's introduce you to some people that I know and just try to get them involved. That's a really good way to set yourself apart. You become like their hero, and that they're going to remember you as well.
Right.
And then you can build a relationship from there.
If you network for your business, you already know follow-up is everything when it comes to growing relationships and driving success. But here's the thing. Most of us want to follow up well. We just get stuck. Staying consistent, keeping it personal, making it stand out, it's hard. That's why I use NetEffect.io. It makes follow-up simple, cuts through all the noise, and helps me stay on top of every relationship without dropping the ball. I never miss a follow-up, and honestly, my network wouldn't be the same without it. So check it out, neteffect.io. And right now, you can use promo code NBG50 for 50% off of your first month. neteffect.io, your secret weapon to unforgettable follow-up.
You said something interesting. You said when you go to an event where people are gathered and your goal is 2 to 3, not 15.
Right.
I think that is key. I don't have time for 15 one-on-ones. How about you?
Well, I do like one-on-ones more than you do. I can just tell you that. I know you would prefer to have 2 or 3 to 1. I don't mind doing the 1-to-1, but to your point, you
couldn't do 15 a week?
No.
I mean, how many times do you go networking? How many times do you go to an event of some kind each month?
4 to 5, probably.
Okay.
Maybe a few more, depending.
Yeah. So let's say it's 4 a month. If you did meet 10 people, that's 40 hours of coffees if you do one-on-ones. That's ridiculous to think about having the time to be able to do that. I mean, I tell people all the time, do the math. The math doesn't work. That's 40 hours of you not doing other things.
And some of it, I mean, you have to be respectful of your own time, right? And how much you can actually dedicate to it. So there are people that you will meet that you had a really nice conversation with that for whatever reason, you don't make that next turn, right?
Yeah.
But it's the ones that there's something about that person, that human. I really want to get to know more about you. Those are the ones. And if I can get 2 or 3 and have 2 or 3 and 2 to 3 people find me halfway entertaining and knowledgeable, then it's been a great event, right?
Yeah, I agree. I think 2 to 3 is kind of that sweet spot. 2 to 3 people that you really feel like you can build a relationship with long term. And it's not that you're going to ignore anybody and everybody else. It's just you don't have time to have an hour-long one-on-one coffee with them. Maybe a quick 10-minute over Zoom. Maybe I'll see you at the next event, that kind of thing. You're still building those relationships, but just at a kind of a different level. All right, let's do some rapid fire questions. Ready?
No, boy.
All right, first thing that comes to mind. What is one way that you add value to your network without expecting anything in return?
Yeah, giving connections, making meaningful introductions. That's probably the one way, or inviting somebody to an event that we might be hosting or you might be hosting. It's probably the easiest way.
Yeah, those are really good, really good. All right, ready? How do you decide which networking events or groups to invest your time in?
You got to answer that one for me, because I have literally I've been through so many. I think what really triggered for me was because I kind of happened into Network Build Grow.
Mm-hmm.
I met you at, I had heard your name a lot, and I met you at, I think it was a Small Business Expo, if I'm not mistaken.
Mm-hmm.
And you're like, hey, come to this event. And there was this level of education for me that
Mm-hmm.
I couldn't find anywhere else.
Yeah.
And the other ones just seemed all the same. So for me, it's what's different, what's unique.
Mm-hmm.
And then it's also who's in the room.
Yeah.
That's a big piece.
Yeah, because you can definitely get in rooms that don't have your ideal strategic business alliance or your ideal
Mm-hmm.
client,
Mm-hmm.
and it's just not really the best use of your time. Yeah,
Right.
and they're different networking for different folks. I mean, that's why there are so many, because
Mm-hmm.
everybody has different needs. Okay, one more. What is one common mistake that you see people make when networking, besides just handing their business card out like Halloween candy?
Just not, I guess maybe not being authentic, not being
Okay.
genuine.
Mm-hmm. Mm-hmm.
Um, whether people believe it or not, Charlotte is the South. And one of the things that people in Charlotte like to do is to get to know people.
Mm-hmm.
And if it feels transactional, whether they hand you a business card or not, if they're doing all of the talking about themselves and their business and they're not reaching back across, that's a red flag for me. And I see it. You see it much more than I do, but I see it a lot.
Yeah.
And I can tell you, I absolutely will not follow up with those folks.
Yeah.
Too much, too short, not enough
Yeah.
time.
Yeah. It's funny because I do teach that you need to have a way to introduce yourself. Some people call it an elevator pitch. I call it a pep talk in my book.
Pep talk, right?
So you do have to have a way to introduce yourself, but if it sounds canned and rehearsed, I think that's a mistake. Like, I really feel like people need to be more conversational
Mm-hmm.
when they're out doing their elevator pitch. And I know sometimes you go around the room and everybody stands up and tells, who you are, what you do in 30 seconds. So you have to be concise. You have to have it but try to keep it a little bit more real, a little more, like you said, authentic, conversational.
I can tell you that
like
I have made every mistake you can make in networking. I've done it all. I have. I've gone to the wrong groups. I've tried canned. I've tried too authentic. I've tried awkward. I've literally tried everything. So
yeah. I don't think
I'm a
you can
petri
go
dish.
wrong. I don't think you can go wrong if you lead with the foot of, I'm here to build relationships. I'm here to meet people, like a professional friend maker, right? I don't think you
There
can
you
go
go.
wrong. Like,
There you go.
So I think that's fun. All right, I lied. I'm going to ask you one more.
Okay.
Last question of the day. If you could give one piece of advice to someone who's brand new in networking, since you have made all the mistakes, you've been the awkward, you've been the wallflower, you've been the canned guy, you've been all the things. What would one piece of advice be to that person that's just kind of getting into building those relationships?
I think it goes back to, first and foremost, just be yourself, because everybody else is taken, right? Just be authentic, right? That's probably the first thing. And then, the other part of it is it's not all about you. And if we would do more of that, just give first. What can I do to help you? I know in some cases it probably sounds as, oh, that's pitchy. It's really not, if you truly believe it in your core. And that's one of the ways that you stay grounded. Like, I'm a proud Rotarian, and one of the first things that you do as a Rotarian is you give of yourself. And that's why it's so easy for me, because that's just who I am. That's what I do.
Yeah. Yeah. And I think part of that is, if it's true to you, you're going to follow up. So if they say, this is what I need, you're going to try to make that happen to the best of your ability. And that keeps you real. Yeah. And your
Indeed.
reputation grows from there. Reputation's so valuable.
Mm.
Mm-hmm. Well, I want to thank you so much for all that you give us. You support Network Build Grow. You're a sponsor of Network Build Grow. You come to almost all the things that we do. I mean, you are just really involved, and we love that. And again, I'm honored to be invited to the things that you have as well. So thank you for that.
I feel the exact same way about you, Melissa. Thank you.
We'll see you soon.
Thanks for tuning into this episode of the Network Build Grow podcast. If you enjoyed today's conversation, be sure to subscribe, leave a review, and share it with a fellow entrepreneur or professional. And of course, if you're not yet part of our community, visit networkbuildgrow.com to connect with us. Until next time, keep building and keep growing.